episode 77, The Death of My Best Friend, 2 years later. Hey Magical Misfits, it's Kaidain Ivy, and welcome back to Atonement for Me. When I started this podcast, I started with the tale of me and my best friend Tyler. And it's been 2 years. And it seems like a completely different life. Things are so different than when they were. But it's like nothing changed as well. And it's still hard sometimes to process that he's gone. And we used to talk all the time on the phone when he was driving home from work, and he would always ask me to have a podcast just so he could listen to me talk about whatever was on my mind. And I started looking into it, but never got it off the ground until after he was gone. And there are still 1,000 things every single day that I just want to tell him, to include him, and just have him be there. Just to be able to share the beautiful things that I get to see. I was talking with his little sister, Jenna, and we've gotten really, really close over the past couple years about where we think he is now. And I like to think that he's happy. And I like to think that he's with Vader. Because I can still feel him smile sometimes. I loved him from the deepest capacity that I had when I knew him. And that taught me how to love more without him. Because he had so much love to give to other people, to anybody who he could possibly bring a smile to. That's what he did. Didn't matter how much he was hurting inside himself, because he just wanted to be happy. And sometimes that little voice in my head says, I'm glad that he didn't have to see many of the things that transpired since he was gone. But that doesn't mean I wasn't thinking about him the entire time. It's been a long 2 years. It's been hard to process because it's such an abstract concept, with everybody being in Ontario and me being out here. It's strange to move on, because sometimes in my head you just want to treat it like a breakup. And that the hardest part about that is knowing that he's not happy somewhere else in this world, even though I'm sure he is happy in the place that he is now. They say that time heals things. It numbs them, but it doesn't go away. And that's okay, because that is just the tattoo of their love inside of your heart. It's okay that it hurts, because it happened. And nothing is going to erase that. But there's also no shame in knowing that he would want me to be happy, and he would want the life that I currently have for myself. And it's just that little selfish part of me that just wants to be able to share that with him. So when I first heard that he'd passed, I was alone. It was in the middle of isolation, and he had been my lifeline for that. And I kind of photo documented a series of the grief that I felt because there were no words. And looking back now, there are still no words. It doesn't erase it, but it helps me deal with it. It helps me to capture that pain and shelve it somewhere and leave it in that moment and know that it is just part and parcel with having loved someone. And that's just the tea.